I wore an attractive dress to my husband's funeral because I was planning to find a new partner there. He had to be old and very rich, like all my husbands. Old and lonely rich people paid to marry me, just so they could leave this world in the arms of a young beauty. Unexpectedly, a handsome young man came up to me, and his face seemed a little familiar. Of course, I turned him down since I was only interested in those who already had one foot in the grave.
Oh, well, then we are a perfect match. My name is John.
He explained that he had no more than a year left. John wanted to spend the time he had left the way he had dreamed all his life.
Say yes. This will be your best deal.
Easy money? Perfect for me. So I agreed. I thought everything would be like in those movies, where the doomed rich man starts living to the fullest. We boarded John's private helicopter, but instead of a resort, we flew to a farm. John wanted to spend the rest of his life surrounded by pigs and chickens. Is this a joke? Do you have any side effects from the disease? He just shrugged his shoulders and went to the greenhouse. He would spend his days doing boring things, sleeping, cooking, and taking care of his roses. I started having doubts. Did John really have a year left? Maybe he was deceiving me? I decided to sneak into his office and found the folders labeled Health. Inside, there were dozens of response letters from surgeons. They thanked John for his generous offer, but refused to treat his illness. So, he was telling the truth. I just had to find out why he needed me there. If you're going to dig in the mud, what do you need me for?
Because you're good at it. You are wasting your best years changing old man's diapers. Aren't you disgusted?
His words offended me because they were true. It hurt my feelings. So I left. John knew he had gone too far and brought me a rose to make amends. But I immediately threw the flower into the trash. John kept bringing me roses, but my heart remained cold. One day, I found an envelope instead of a flower. There was a patent certificate for a new rose variety inside. I asked John for an explanation.
10 years ago, I bred a special rose variety and named it after you because I have loved you all these years.
As it turned out, John was the gardener of the first old man I married for money. That's why John's face seemed familiar to me. He fell in love with me, but he knew I wasn't interested in poor guys. So he quit gardening and started working hard to get rich. However, once he had earned enough money, he found out about his terrible disease.
I was saving up, getting rich, and not actually enjoying life. Don't make the same mistake as me.
I was moved and promised John to change, but he had one more request.
I just need you to take me into hospice as soon as I feel worse. That will be the end of the deal.
As soon as John left, I wiped away the tears and started doing what I was good at, corresponded with elderly rich man. And somehow, John saw it.
Don't worry. I understand your decision. Getting ready for a new marriage.
That was our last conversation. Soon after that, I found John unconscious in the greenhouse. I did just like he said. I called in a helicopter, but I didn't take him into hospice. John regained consciousness for a few minutes.
Where are we? I don't understand.
It's still too early for you to leave this world. I didn't spend the last few months looking for a new old man, but persuading a doctor to take over John's case. The gray-haired man in my laptop was a surgeon, and he agreed to operate on my husband. Eventually, John began to recover and asked me why I did it. Because you made me realize that our life is short, too short to focus on money. I thank John for that deal, as it really was the best I've ever had. You're not rich until you have things money can't buy.